In today's video, I'll be reviewing Barclays Smart Investor. This is where I've held my own personal stocks and shares ISA for the last 7 years. I actually started investing with Barclays Smart Investor because way back in 2012, when I read my first investing and trading book, the author of that book was actually using Barclays to invest. So that is why I made that investing decision. But obviously since then, many more investing platforms have become available. So I think it's really important I personally review my own experience with Barclays and then share that with you. So in this video, I'll be talking you through all the pros and cons of investing with Barclays Smart Investor. Now, as I said, Barclays Smart Investor is an investing platform. So I hold my stocks and shares ISA with Barclays Smart Investor, but you can also hold a self-invested personal pension or a SIP with them and a general investing account as well. So very quickly, what is a Barclays Smart Investor stocks and shares ISA? It's a place where you can invest up to £20,000 every tax year, and any money that you make on those investments is not going to be taxed. So using a stocks and shares ISA is a tax efficient way of investing. Okay, starting with pro number one, and that is that it is a very simple website to use. So obviously I was a complete DIY beginner investor when I started investing, and I found it a very, very simple website to use. Also, a recent development for Barclays Smart Investor is that you can now view your investments in the Barclays app, which is really helpful as well. When I'm looking at my investments, I personally prefer to sit down and use the website. But if you're a person who wants to check your investments daily, then being able to look at them on an app is very useful. Okay, so the next pro is that there is a wide range of investments available through the Barclays Smart Investor website. So there are over 8,000 different options available for you to invest in at the moment. And that includes everything from ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, or you can invest in mutual funds, actively managed funds. You can also invest in investment trusts. You can also invest in bonds as well. You can also invest in individual stocks and shares if that's something that you want to do. Also, they've recently added the option of investing in international shares as well. It did used to be just UK shares. So if you're a DIY investor and you're looking to build your own portfolio, then there should be a good level of investments for you to choose from. Now, I personally like to make my own investing decisions and decide which investments I want to make. But if you don't feel confident doing that, then Barclays Smart Investor does give you the option of ready-made investments where you can have a look at your risk level and have a look at where you would like to be. You can obviously also see past performance of those investments as well, although past performance isn't always indicative of future performance. And obviously when you're investing, your capital is at risk and everything that you put in, you might not get back out. But obviously that is not the aim when you're investing. You're looking to make more money over time. So the next pro of Barclays Smart Investor is their customer service. I've personally found it to be a very positive experience investing with Barclays Smart Investor. So to give you a real life example, a couple of years ago, I actually transferred my self-invested personal pension from Barclays Smart Investor to AJ Bell. Now, this is quite a complex process and they couldn't have been more helpful in helping me to get this process done quickly and efficiently, even though I was moving business away from them. And I think that actually that speaks volumes. Also, what I find very helpful with Barclays Smart Investor is that they do have a chat or messaging service on their website. So if you have any very specific questions and you want to just type a question to Barclays, then you can do that. I personally prefer to have these kind of communications rather than getting on the phone to them, but obviously you can give them a ring. But they've been really helpful, for example, letting me know what date an order that I've put through will settle, things like that. Obviously, they're not financial advisors, so they can't give you financial advice on, say, for example, the investments that you're going to be making, but they should be able to help you with your other queries, and I found that service to be very good. Okay, moving on now to the last pro, which is sort of a con. It's kind of straddling both of them, and that is the fees. So Barclays Smart Investor has pretty good fees of 0.25%, and that is per annum on a balance between £1 and £200,000. And then the fees for balances over £200,000 are 0.05%. So they recently changed their payment structure away from having a minimum monthly spend, which is a positive because it really helps people who are looking to invest smaller amounts and don't want a monthly fee eating into that. The cost for buying and selling shares, which would include things like investing in ETFs, is £6. So what I will say is, although the per annum percentage fee is quite low, obviously buying and selling at £6 can really add up. So I think when you are choosing your investment platform, you really need to sit down and have a look at what you plan to be doing with your investments. If you're a person that's going to be buying and selling regularly, obviously you could set up a regular investment, but I mean ad hoc and also regularly, then this could end up really adding up. So if you are going to be buying and selling frequently, then it might be worth looking at a platform, say for example like Interactive Investor, that has a flat monthly fee. So you really have to think about the kind of investing that you want to be doing when you look and take into consideration the fees. Also, just to say here, there is the option of going with a commission-free broker, say for example Trading 212. I have popped a link down in the description box below where you get a free fractional share if you fund your Trading 212 account, and as I said, they're commission-free investments, so there's no commission charged on investing with Trading 212. And I do actually have an investment ISA with Trading 212 as well, because obviously the rules have recently changed and you no longer just have to have one stocks and shares ISA, you can have multiple stocks and shares ISAs, which is great if you want to try out different companies. It's also great if you want to keep your money in different pots of money. Also, it's obviously quite helpful to sometimes just have it in one place so you can really track the performance of your investments. But I just wanted to mention that that is something that you can do. Okay, so moving on now to the cons, and that first con is really the fees of £6 if you're buying and selling individual shares or ETFs, for example. So if you're investing smaller amounts and then on top of that you are adding a £6 fee, that is going to really eat into your investment. So you really have to consider the kind of investor that you are before you choose which platform to go with. And then the other con of investing with Barclays Smart Investor is that you cannot buy fractional shares. You have to buy whole shares if you are investing with them. So say for example you were looking to buy a share of Apple, for example. It's currently priced at around $236. Obviously you need to convert that into pounds, but you maybe don't want to be spending that much money on a single share, and there are other platforms available like Trading 212, for example, where you can buy fractional shares. So you could just buy £10 worth of Apple shares, for example. Now, the last thing I will say with Barclays Smart Investor is that I do find that other platforms are a little bit more sophisticated if you're looking for in-depth information and, say for example, looking at charting for different investments. So I'm personally happy with the level of information that is provided from Barclays Smart Investor. Also, if I want to go ahead and use other websites to look at investments, I am free to do that. So I can use the services, for example, of Fidelity's website, or have a look at TradingView, for example. So you can find more sophisticated analysis and research tools elsewhere. But that again wouldn't stop me from using Barclays Smart Investor, because I can still invest with them, but just use the tools elsewhere. So this is not a sponsored video and I am not being paid by Barclays to share this information. This is just my own personal experience from using them for the last 7 years to invest in a stocks and shares ISA. So if you have taken any value from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like. If you have any questions about Barclays Smart Investor from a real life customer point of view, then please do pop them in the comments down below and I will try to help you out. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you fancy subscribing, I would love to get to 9,000 subscribers soon, and maybe potentially 10,000 in the not too distant future. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to this channel, and thank you again for your time. Bye bye.